Welcome to the NIHR Dementia Researcher podcast, brought to you by dementiaresearcher.nihr.ac.uk in association with Alzheimer's Research UK and Alzheimer's Society, supporting early career dementia researchers across the world.
Hello, I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Megan O'Hare.
And together we are the Dementia Researcher podcast. And we're here today, Megan and I, to celebrate episode 100. That's right, folks.
100 episodes!
In February 2018, we recorded 100 episodes. And I was having a look. Across those 100 episodes, we've also had, guess how many guests?
400.
No, nearly 370 different guests across 100 episodes.
Wow, that is a lot.
It is. We've had a lot of
very
people,
nice people.
More than once, but absolutely. It's 370 guests, and it's fantastic. So we thought we'd join you today, drop into the podcast stream just to celebrate episode 100 and just talk a little bit about the show, just for 10 minutes to give you a few insights about what happens behind the scenes. So, Megan, maybe I'm going to ask you a question first. Which is your favourite episode?
I like the ones where I have been to their place of work and then interviewed various researchers, because I think they open up it slightly differently. Although I do also have to say recording in the studio was nice because Patrick, the sound guy, was there, who was really nice and helped me learn about levels. I liked him a lot.
Patrick is awesome. If you're listening, Patrick, we love you. We really miss you. He is still editing the podcast for us, but he's stuck working at home in London as well. And we've been recording all of our podcasts on Zoom since March and not getting out and about at all.
No, I think we're starting to suffer from that. But what about you, Adam? What are your favourite episodes?
Do you know what? It's similar. I think mine are those ones that we do around conferences. Because you never quite know what you're going to talk about. It's whatever's happened at the day. Sometimes you don't even know the panelists are going to be until the day, because I'm still chasing around trying to persuade people to contribute. And usually we're a little bit tired and hungover. So conversations can really take a turn.
Yeah.
They're my favourites. And I'm surprised you didn't mention, because we should add that we're on edit number 4 of this.
Yeah.
Despite both hosting our podcasts, we're rubbish when it comes to just talking to each other. And previously, Megan mentioned that her favourite ones were all the ones that she's recorded because they're the most listened to.
Yeah, but this time we said we were having a script. So I was sticking to the bullet points, and that wasn't the bullet point. So, but yes, one of my favourite ones, obviously, is the Alzheimer's Society Fellowship one, which I think, Adam, maybe has, is it over 3,000 listens?
I think it might have, Megan. I think you might have noticed that out of the top 10 listened to podcasts, many of them are Megan's that she's hosted. So top number 1 most listened to podcast out of our 100 is What's New in Alzheimer's Society Fellowships with 3,336 plays. I'm not sure it's you though. Maybe it's just because there were a lot of people wanting to know and apply for that fellowship.
Yeah, maybe I just pick great topics.
You could do, because we do tend to. Actually, I've noticed that though. If I say, "Oh, I've arranged a podcast with this thing," and you'll say, "Oh, I'd really like to host that one." Are you cunning and jumping in, realizing that these are the ones that people are going to listen to?
Yeah, and I like the sound of my own voice.
Well, you can't say that. You don't even listen. You don't even listen to the podcast.
I have to admit, I don't listen back to them. Sorry.
Well, top 5 most listened to podcasts. What's New in Alzheimer's Society Fellowships? Then Rare Dementia Support Impact Study, which had Emily and Hardy. No, it had Emily in it. Quality of Life After a Dementia Diagnosis. That was recorded.
Another great one.
Sussex.
That was recorded at the University of Sussex, yeah.
Alzheimer's Research UK Drug Discovery one, where we talked about the Drug Discovery Institute.
Mm-hmm.
Then Coming in at number 5, Neighborhoods, Dementia, Co-Creation to Put Research into Action, which was one of mine, I seem to recall. But we are a few down there. We're not the only people that host the podcast. Dr. Anna Volkmer is a regular host too. We've
Chris
also,
Hardy.
Yeah, Chris has joined us quite a few times from UCL. He's really good at hosting. We've had a few hosts, more in the early days than recently. I think we settled into our Black Sheeny, of course, who used to work for us with us at UCL. She left us and got a new job. Piers Cotting had a little go at it before he left. And am I outing you here for saying that you're going to be going on a little bit of a sabbatical? And this,
but I think, can't you use keeping in touch days to record podcasts? I think on maternity leave.
Megan's pregnant, very pregnant right now, and is going to be going on maternity leave in a couple of weeks' time. So you've got one more episode to record before you go off, though.
Yeah, a Datathon one, a DP UK one. So...
Oh, no, not Datathon. Just about we've done a Datathon one. That was one of mine. That was very popular. Was that one? That got hackathon one is in the top 20. I feel
the top 100.
So and we're going to record that one live as well. Well,
yes,
we always record them live. We're going to let people watch us record and ask questions.
Yeah. So as we've discussed today about the importance of the background on Zoom, I've got to get some good books, some good paintings, do my hair.
We were chatting earlier about interesting to see how people's backdrops has developed over the last 6 months, because we only ever recorded these podcasts in the studio or if we were out and about conferences and events, because it kind of gets the best quality. But we've resorted to Zoom, hoping actually that'd bring in more international panelists, but it really hasn't. It still doesn't.
But we want you. If you're an international dementia researcher, get in touch. Because we can record on Zoom. It's so easy.
And actually, that's a nice little segue into talking about our international audience. So about just over half the people that listen to the podcast aren't even in the UK. The United States is the country with the most subscribers and plays, followed by the UK, then Australia, Ireland, Canada, Denmark, New Zealand, Belgium, Germany, Sweden. But we get listened to in some we have some subscribers literally all over the world in some really amazing places. We've got 70 in Hong Kong. We've got listeners in the Ukraine, Israel, Panama, Republic of Korea. I'm scrolling down this list here. Colombia, Chile. We've got some 48 subscribers in the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Probably worldwide.
Well, that is dementia research happening all over the world, which is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
We even recorded a podcast in Spanish. Was that last year? This year? I've lost track of where we're at because
very early this year, I think.
Very early
in
this
the
year.
studio.
And, so that we recorded a podcast in the Spanish language, and I'd like to do more of that. So if your English isn't your first language and you'd like to record a podcast, let us know. We'd love to do some more in Spanish or in German, maybe, or maybe for all those listeners we have in our top 10 that are based in Denmark, or maybe in Belgium, Sweden, we could do podcasts in those languages too. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So we've talked about our top 10. We've talked about where we listen to in the world. The fact that you're going to be going off on maternity leave and leaving me in the lurch soon enough.
I know, but I really want to come back because it's one of the favourite bits of my job. I love doing it.
It really is mine too. I think it's great getting to meet and talk to so many different people, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. All those researchers doing so many different amazing things.
And being able to talk about careers topics and research and being able to switch between the two makes it really interesting. I feel really lucky to be able to talk to so many great people. And of course, I persuaded a lot of those then to do the chatathon. I didn't need to persuade them. They all amazingly volunteer. In fact, we never need to persuade people to come and record podcasts.
That's true.
we have so many people volunteer to come forward. In fact, the podcast episodes we're going to record this week now, and today is the 2nd of November, won't even be out until January because we're so far ahead recording with so many people wanting to. Do you think on that basis that we should maybe start to do this weekly instead of fortnightly?
We did a survey last year, don't you remember? And we had headphones as a prize. It was stick with every 2 weeks, because then we have the specials if we're at conferences or if something pops up. I think 2 weeks is a good amount of time.
And so consistently every 2 weeks we always put an episode out, but then we throw in these specials once in a while. In fact, we've got some specials coming up. I don't know when this episode will be out, but we've got some specials around the AIC NeuroNext conference, the new iStart PIA that I've been working on. So we're really lucky. We get to chuck in some extras. I feel like a weekly would be too much pressure to constantly feed content. What else have we got to talk about, Megan? We've talked about your favorite shows, Where We Listen to in the World, Behind the Scenes, Amazing
We should
Patrick.
mention Patrick, Amazing Patrick.
And James Datchler, we should give a credit to, because it was originally his idea. He was on our original steering group for Dementia Researcher a couple of years ago. What else have we started to do? I tell you what else we've started to do that people might not realize is we now make the podcast into little videos as well and upload them to our YouTube channel. So, and they really get listened to. I was surprised. I thought people listen to podcasts on podcast apps, but the AI in Dementia podcast that you recorded with Bart de Stuper and Professor David Llewellyn a couple of weeks ago has had over 50 plays or something
on the YouTube. Oh, right. I just called it the YouTube, like I'm an old person.
Well, that's one of the things I've noticed in your podcasts. And if we start to look at your demographic of listeners, it is mostly the over 75s that listen to your shows.
Good. I'm really tailoring it to my audience.
It's the 20s to 30s that listen to mine. Of course. I mean, actually, we've been talking for 10 minutes now, and we're only going to make this a quick one. What we really wanted to do was to thank those hundreds and hundreds of people that have contributed to making the podcast such a success over the last nearly 3 years. The podcast has had over 47,000 plays since we launched it, and 21,000 of those have just been in this year, in 2020.
We're hoping to get to 25,000 by the end of the year. We should get to
25,000. I think we're on about 25,000 plays a year. It's grown year on year. Year one was a bit slow while we started to build up our audience. So we didn't get so many plays in year one. Suddenly I'm chasing around looking for statistics that I hadn't prepared in advance. Come on, statistics. Oh, my website's frozen. Oh, come on, where is it? The statistics.
It's okay. You're going to run over time, which is what you always do. So
in year one, we got less plays. Year two, I think it was about 21,000. This year, we're well on for 25,000 players this year. And as I say, about half those people overseas. So hundreds of panelists have contributed over time. We've got listeners all over the world. So we really want to thank you very much for listening to us so regularly every couple of weeks. And to all those panelists that contribute, you make it so easy to do. It's great. We love having you come forward with all your questions. It's never hard to do. Do you feel like it's hard?
No. It's a delight. People are very keen to talk about their research. It's a really good platform for that, I've found, especially for ECRs, I think, because you don't really get often an opportunity to talk about your research in depth apart from at your Viva. And obviously that's, in this country anyway, not a public platform. So I think this is a really good platform for discussing your research. I like the research ones, can you tell?
Oh, no, I do too. And I love hearing back from people afterwards when they tell us how people really have reached out to make contact with them afterwards through Twitter. And I know Anna has mentioned a couple of times that she's had people from the States contact her afterwards about the research she's talked about, to ask whether, where they can access resources or find papers that have been mentioned in the show. So it's great. We love having everybody join us. Thank you, everybody who takes time to listen and subscribe to us. We've expanded where you can find us as well now. Your smart home device, if you ask her or it to play it, it will too. We're on Spotify and Amazon and Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts, you'll find us now. So that's great. It's quite hard to find out how many subscribers we've got. I think, because it gets listened to across all many different platforms, it's quite hard to find out. But I think we have about 700 to 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Across the world. Not everybody listens to every episode. But most episodes get 500 plays in their first week.
Depends who's hosting, but yeah.
Yeah, it does depend who's hosting. Or the topic, the Race Against Dementia podcast we did about their fellowship, that had 500 plays in its first week. The AI in Dementia one, though, has suddenly jumped into the top 20, and that's only been out 2 weeks.
What can I say?
So I think that's time to wrap up there. We just wanted to say
thank you.
Woohoo! Really, the first 100 have been easy. We're looking forward very much to the next 100 episodes. Thank you, everybody that takes time out to listen to us. If you've got a topic that you think you'd like to be discussed, if you'd like to join us on a panel to talk about your own research or talk about your career successes and the highs and lows, please do drop us a line. Go to the website too. I think a lot of people who listen to the podcast don't necessarily even visit the website. We've got an amazing website that has new articles and blogs every day. Our blogs have the narrators, the people who write them, narrating them as well. So that's quite interesting. We've got a busy WhatsApp community that has social events in the evenings where you get to chat to other people. We've got so much stuff to plug, but we just haven't got the time. Any last thoughts, Megan?
No, I literally have no thoughts. Yeah.
Professional hosts, ladies and gentlemen.
I do that when I'm interviewing people right at the end. Go, do you have anything else to say? And then no, I've said it all. You've put me on the spot.
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
We love it. Thank you all the guests.
We do.
Woohoo.
Thank you.
And we're really grateful to everybody listening and contributes and takes the time out of their day every couple of weeks. Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to the next 100.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Brought to you by dementiaresearcher.nihr.ac.uk in association with Alzheimer's Research UK and Alzheimer's Society, supporting early career dementia researchers across the world.